have a workout that I'm like, I really like that, then I can always do it again. Sometimes I forget because of the structure. So yeah, we'll have this posted too. So I'm gonna go ahead and get myself cozy. I'm gonna start a little different. I'm gonna start sitting up, and I'm gonna take my hands behind my thighs, get myself ready for this morning. I'm gonna roll my shoulders down and back, and then I'm gonna go ahead and lengthen at the tailbone, and I'm gonna pull myself up tall. Oh, Melissa, if you haven't seen, this is Paragon. I don't know if you've ever been here, and that's the stuff. And then these are all marked up 6 feet apart, so when we are able to have people in for live classes, we can do it here, and we'll have lots of space. Good, and I'll go 4. I'm gonna use my biceps a little bit. 3, up, 2, up, 1. Good. Now, instead of rolling, what I want to do is I want to keep my back super straight, and I'm going to use my biceps again, and I'm going to lean straight back, and I'm going to pull myself back up. I'm reaching my toes to the ground. It's not quite as far. So this is a flat back, and it's a little, anatomically should be a little bit different. Good. A little more limiting, but like in a cool way. I'll go 3. Oh yeah, 2 more. 2. 1. Now the beauty of our legs is the more the legs go out, they counterbalance us. We're not going to play with that right now, but that's that leg lifting thing, trying to figure out what that is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my camera leg, I'm going to open it up. Good, I'm going to press it open a little bit to stretch it, and I'm going to squeeze, and I'm going to sit up tall. I'm going to let it open, and I'm going to squeeze and sit up tall. We lay down so often, and I love that. We're going to, but I just want to feel like what it feels like to just be inside of myself. And I'll go 4, 3. It's kind of too like I'm making space here. 2 and 1. And then I'll do the same thing. First, I'm going to press it open, just kind of getting some length, and then I'm going to squeeze and try to get some height. Squeeze. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm going to put the weight, instead of kind of like here in the middle, I'm going to go ahead and put it into my hands back here. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to let my leg drop open, and I'm going to get tall and push into my hands. And see how we redistribute a little bit where the force comes from? It's almost as if I were going to lift up, but I'm not actually lifting up. 4, I'm just creating that pressure inside of myself. With my chest open. 3, 2, and then I'll do the other side. Pressing into my feet ever so gently to take it out of like that front part for now. Good. 4, SC6 tends to go to the hip flexors. 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to take both of my legs, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lift up my heels, and I'm going to rock towards the camera, pressing my chest open, and I'm going to pull it back in. I'm going to go the same direction. I'm going to rock. Feel free to adjust yourself as you need to at all. Good. And see how this now this is a lot of like kind of the work that we do when our butts are heavy and our legs are free to move and our chest is open. Last one. I'm wiggling a little, and then I'll go the other direction and pull myself back in. So I bring this up because we're more likely to be upright during the day versus laying down, but this is kind of how we're integrating our movements. And I'll go 4. I'm trying to keep as I open this side open. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now I'll go ahead, and it feels good. I'm going to extend my legs out. I'm going to go ahead and bring my hands. I'm going to dive forward, give myself a little good morning stretch first, and then I'll push into my shins. I'm going to sit up tall, and then I'm going to lean forward again. Last night we stretched on the foam roller first. This time we're kind of stretching at the beginning. I just want to play with our order to see. And then sit up tall, and I'll dive forward for 4, and up, 3, and up, 2, and back up, and the last one. All right, so I'm pressing my heels into the floor. I'm going to turn my thumbs up, and then I want to go ahead and pull back behind me, sit up tall, and then bring it back in. I'm going to go ahead and press, open, and bring it back in. 3, imagine like, you know, where we do this on like the foam roller. 4, but this time we're just using space. 5, 6, Sit up and sit really tall. 7 and 8. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring my hands behind my head, and I'm going to get started. I'm going to send my elbows out wide. I'm going to inhale, pressing through my heels. I'm going to twist towards you guys, and then bring it back up. I'm going to inhale, I'm going to exhale, twist, 2, and back up. 3, 4, 5, beautiful. 6, sending the elbow, 7, and I'm reaching especially that way, and then I'll go the other direction. 1, so that my hips are not twisting with it. 2, 3, and I really have to use these guys. 4, to create movement. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now I'm going to go ahead and, like I'm a crunch forward, I'm going to go ahead and round forward and then sit up tall. And we're going to need this. I'm going to sit forward. Now, I wanted you to pull your shoulders together, okay? Because when we start working on our mechanisms, I would like to be able to have my core strong enough to guide me through things without having to use, like, momentum. 4, we're going to get ready to do roll-ups. 3, but I want these guys to be on. 2, and I would love you to keep your hands perfectly open, elbows wide, and we're going to go ahead and roll ourselves down. You're going to start, and let's go down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now try to keep your elbows wide, and we're going to roll up. Press into your heels. You're going to inhale, exhale, and roll up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then stretch yourself forward. And we're going to do that 3 more times, okay? So I'm not going to count every time, but I want you to try and go slow, okay? I want you to work through the musculature. I want you to squeeze deep muscles in. Keep your elbows as wide the best you can. And then tap your head down. Take a nice deep breath in. Fill your lungs up. And then use the mechanisms inside of you to roll. And to sit yourself back up, trying to keep your elbow wide. And then I'm going to stretch myself forward. And then bring it back up. And then I'm going to roll it down. Elbows stay wide, elbows stay wide. Press your heels down, good. And the control part's the hardest. Oh, good, I'm pressing, elbows wide, wide. Sit up tall and then stretch over your abdomen. And then last one, try to make it your best one. I'm gonna reach to my toes. I'm gonna roll, I'm gonna send my elbows wide, lift your chin up. Oh, so good. And then final one, I'm gonna try and send my elbows out wide. Pressing my heels down the best I can, and then I'll stretch forward. And then bring myself back up. Now we're gonna stay down there, but I still wanna go down with control. I'm gonna go ahead and send my elbows wide, and I just know I'm gonna stay down there, so I'm gonna keep them wide. And try to set it down, good. And then I'll go ahead, and now I can feel my tailbone. I'm gonna put my hands on my pelvis. I don't wanna be tucked under too much, I wanna be in that neutral. So ribs are down, and I'm gonna slide one heel in, and then I'm gonna reach it back out. I'm looking for this muscle to draw up with it. That's what I'm trying to make happen. 3. Guys, this floor is slippery. It's kind of nice. 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to keep this leg bent. We're going to go different directions. I'm going to lift my hips up and back down and reach through. I'm going to lift it up and reach through. Good. I'm still lifting this muscle up, but I'm adding this on. And I'll go 4, reach, 3, push down equally on the outside of your foot as well as the big toe. All right, and so now I'm going to go ahead and keep my bottom down, and I'm going to combine, but this time instead of having my hands back, I'm going to have them forward. You can use this leg if you need to. I'm going to press down into my foot, into my heels, so I'm heavy here, but I can use the musculature here, okay? So our legs, teaser is actually going to be nice when we get there. I'm going to nod my chin, I'm going to roll, I want to set myself up, and then grab and get really tall. And then I'm going to release, and I'm going to roll back down. We're going to do this 4 times. I want to reach up overhead so I get that good morning stretch on this Thursday morning, and I'm going to bring my shoulders down my back, nod my chin, and roll up. And then I like to give a little extra, so I pull my shoulders back, and then we got 2 more. Push your heel down, good. And then reach and do a big stretch, and then you're going to bring it back up. And this is what it all comes to, is that we have this utility of our bodies. And then last one. Roll. Shoulders down the back. Sit. Good. And pull up. Awesome. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other leg. So I'll bring that leg back. I'm going to feel, and I'm going to slide this muscle up and in and back out. Pulling everything center. And again, 3. I'm broadening my shoulders. 4. 5. Now it doesn't look like a lot, but there's so much happening in here. 6. And I tend to move my legs. 7, like walking. And so it's kind of relevant. So then I'll go ahead and put that heel down. And then I'm going to lift my hips up. My heel slides a little. And then I'm going to lengthen back. I'm going to lift up and then lengthen. And again, pulling the muscles in. 3. And down. 4. 5. 6. 7. Good, so this is nice and stable. So when I set it down, it's stable over here. Hands come up towards the ceiling, open the shoulders. Now the chin, you're gonna roll, and you're gonna set yourself up. I'm gonna pull, and then I'm gonna lengthen as I go back down. And we're just doing 4. I'm gonna reach open overhead, big stretch. Good, lots of space now. Roll, kind of want to sit up tall. And then I got just 2 more. Good, I'm gonna reach, bring it up towards the ceiling, not sit, and then pull up tall. And then last one. And sit up tall. Good. Perfect. Okay, then I'm going to slide the other leg in. And then I'm going to sit on my tailbone. I'm going to swing my hands back behind my head. We'll get to that good feeling stuff where you're like super feel. But I hope I hope utility-wise that was good for you. Like you were like, okay, I can do this. And that's what I'm looking for. When I did CrossFit and stuff before, I could get through anything, but I didn't do it good. And I hope that you're starting to see how that pays off for you. I'm going to go ahead and send my elbows wide. It's like out to the sides of the room versus just down towards my pockets. I'm going to sit on my tailbone, so I'm not under. That's what that looks like. And I'm going to curl up from here with that little space. Check your landscape and make sure that you're making sure that this is in. This is all on you, okay? That it comes in. Your knees are up towards the ceiling. And then when you go down, I want you to create space again, just like you do that good morning stretch, but from here. And you're going to go ahead and curl up, and then I want you to lift. Exhale, and inhale. Exhale, 4. Good. Now get heavy in your heels. That's why we kind of practice a little bit. 5. 6. I want you to feel the inner rim of your heel. 7. And 8. And then I'm going to pulse for 8. 7. Try to make sure your neck is off. 6. 5. Good job. 4. 3, 2, and 1. And then I'm going to go ahead and start with my straight leg stuff. So I'm going to go, let's go camera leg first. I'm going to go ahead and lift it up. Oh, I'm going to put my toe and tap. I'm going to lift. And I want it to come from this utility, not so much from the manipulation of this. This is the weight for this. Good. And I'll go 4, 3, 2, and then I'll take this leg and I'm going to go ahead and send it out. I'm going to boop the floor and then pull it back in. I'm going to curl up a little deeper. And again, I'm checking the landscape. 3, 4, 5, 6. Check that your kneecap is going up towards the ceiling. And then I'm going to go ahead and lengthen. I'm going to bring it up, stretch, and then bring it back down. I'm going to lift it and bring it back down. 2. A little further now. 3. Trying to get that hamstring to lengthen. 4. And the utility comes from here. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now we're going to add a twist. Same thing. Straight leg. I'm going to add a twist and bring it back down. I'm going to add a twist. 2, and bring it back down. 3, 4. Elbows are wide. 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then I'm going to go ahead and bend it in. I'm going to bend it in, and then I'm going to boop the crown, curling up. I'm going to bend it in with purpose. I'm going to boop 2, bend it in, exhale, 3, 4, I'm curling up a little higher, 5, and tucking it in, 6, 7, and 8. And then I'm going to do toe taps again. I'm going to come up to the middle, I'm going to tap, and then bring it back in for 8, 7, I'm twisting ribs to pelvis, 6, 5, this is just the weight, 4, 3, 2, and then I'm going to stay curled, and I'm going to give a little kick and bend. I'm giving a little nudge just to really liberate this. 3. Now, this angle is actually a little bit harder. 4. So me being able to get that flexibility really helps. 6, 7, and exhale and pull this down. 8. Now can you point and flex up there? And this is going to make my leg want to bend, so I'm going to really reach and enjoy the stretch. 4, 3, 2. Now while you're up there, do ankle circles, make circles and stretch out that whole thing. I know some of you guys have been walking and running. Had a lot of people this morning that were doing that. And then the other way. So it's really important we take care of our legs, our knees, our hips. Good. Now, I'm going to keep this leg up straight. I think you guys can. If you prefer to bend it though, go ahead and bend it. I'm going to keep it straight, and I'm going to lift it to my tiptoe back here, and I'm going to march it up, and I'm going to toe tap down. I'm going to march it up. I'm going to deepen as I toe tap so that I can get on top of that hip flexor. 3, 4, and I'm checking my kneecap. He likes to go crazy sometimes. 5, 6, 7, and then I'll go ahead and take that leg. I'm going to slide it out. I am indeed going to boop the floor. I'm going to touch 1, bring it back in, 2, 3, inhale, exhale, 4, 5, 6, 7, beautiful. And then I'll go ahead and take my leg straight. I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to twist as I drop it for 8, and back up. 7, good. 6, twist, exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, and the last thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and come up through the middle, and I'm going to cha-cha leg, okay? If you need to put your hands on your pelvis and rest your head, please do that, okay? But what cha-cha legs is, I'm going to cross, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, walking down, 5, 6, 7, and up. I'm going to go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now, if you prefer bent legs, it looks like this. 1, 2. Okay, so you can do this instead. 4, 5, 6, 7, and back up. 8, 7, 6, 5. We got 2 more times. Ready? And I'll go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and I'll walk up. I'll go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I got just one more. I go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let's set our feet back down. Let's rest our heads. You guys are so strong. I gotta be strong because I'm on camera. If you did love yourself and do whatever you needed to. Before I switch to the other side, I'm gonna bridge a few times just to get everything reset. So I'm gonna tuck my tailbone, and I'm pushing the tops of my knees away so I can get into the glutes. And then I'm gonna undulate, starting at the breastbone, so my hips are high, moving from the top, and then letting this be the last thing to uncurl. I'm gonna start by pressing through the heels, rolling, and then pushing the knees away and keeping this in taut. And then I'm going to inhale, exhale, keep my hips up high as I lay down the breastbone, and then work through. And that keeps everything spaced and long. And then again, I'm going to tuck my tailbone. I'm going to roll. I'm going to push, push, push away, and then back down. And I'll do this one more time before we switch to the other side. Rolling, hips up high, chest open, and then rolling from the breastbone. Yes. And then letting the tailbone be the last thing. So good. Okay, so we're going to do that same order on the other side. I remembered, I promised to be good to you. I'll take my hands behind the nape of my neck. My elbows are out wide. I'm going to sit on my tailbone versus pant line. And I'm going to curl myself up for 8. Exhale. 7. Slow and steady once a race, so we're not rushing. 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'm going to stay curled up. Check your landscape that it's drawn up and in, and it's not poofing up, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and march the other leg up with my toe pointed and set it back down. I'm gonna march it up. The other thing that can happen sometimes is people can hike their hips. Here, let me show you on this side where they twist. Try to keep your hips nice and heavy. 4, 3, which is why that heel being down on this side is super helpful. 2, and then I'm gonna go ahead and send the leg out, boot the ground for 8, back in, 7, curling up a little, 6, flattening this out with my brain, 5, 4, 3, 2, squeeze your butt on this leg, and then you're gonna lift and then squeeze. Good, lift and squeeze. It's not fast so that you can make things happen. 3, when it's too fast, you just kind of get through it. 4, 5, I'm squeezing my butt on this leg on the way down. 6, so I'm using this whole system. 7 and 8. Now we're gonna add a twist and tap. Twist and tap. 2, 3, trying to keep my elbows wide. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then I'm gonna go ahead and bend it in. I'm gonna bend it in, and then I'm gonna curl up and tap for 8, 7, pull it in flat. 6, each time. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'll go into my toe taps. So I'm gonna forward arc, I'm gonna tap my toe and twist for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'm gonna go ahead and keep the leg up, and I'm gonna give a kick for 1, reaching through, good, turning my knee towards me. 3, 4, supporting my neck with that bottom hand. 5, 6, and making space. 7, and then I'll keep the leg up, and I'm gonna point and flex for all those running and walks that I've gone on. 3, or Netflix, let's be honest, a little bit of that too. 4, 3, make sure you're solid here and you're not lifted, okay? And then you're gonna go ahead and do ankle circles for 4, 3, 2, and reverse. 4, 3, I gotta go a little further. 2, good. Now I think you guys can keep your legs straight, but if you prefer bent, you can go ahead and bend it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and bring this leg up, and then I'm gonna twist a little deeper as I go down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'll take this leg and I'm going to boot my heel on the ground. I'm going to send it out and touch for 8 and back in. I'm squeezing my bottom. 7 right here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'll keep the leg straight, and I'm going to lift and twist. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now please keep your legs up, but let's go ahead and bend them in, and then kind of, yeah, good job, good. Get yourself nice and cozy as you can be after that. And then what I want to do is I want to feel inside of myself that if I'm here, I'm a little more rested. So I'm going to squeeze my inner thighs, and I want to push my knees to where I'm straight up and down versus. So do the best you can. I'm going to take my hands, I'm going to push my palms out, and I'm going to push my knees and relax. I'm going to push into my knees and relax. So again, I can feel this a little bit. I'll go 4, 3, 2. Okay, so now I'm going to hold my right hand on my right leg, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my left arm straight, and I'm going to do opposite. So watch me first so it makes sense. I'm going to reach, and then I'm going to come back and push into this, okay? All right, so now I kind of got it. I'm going to toe tap, I'm going to reach, and then I'm going to push to lock into this. And again, 2, push to lock in, feel your shoulder move, 3, 4, I'm pushing in this over here, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm going to hold this steady. I'm going to push into this again, and now I'm just going to move this leg. I'm going to move it and push and relax. I'm going to push and relax. This is to help counterbalance some of that weight. 3, nice, 4, something steady, 5, and of course if you were to need to, you can always grip behind. 6 if you need a little support, 7, and then we're going to take this into knee circles. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it down and circle open just as you would imagine and press into here as a steady base through from here. Good, press, 3, good, 4, and like I talked about, bridging, pushing your knee out, 5, to create space in the hip socket, 6, push over here, 7, and 8. And then I'll reverse directions. I'm going to open and swim it around and tuck it back in. What it feels like for me is as if I were doing a reverse crunch, but I'm holding steady here. Good. And I'll go 4, 3, 2, and luckily it is our turn to switch. So I'm going to go ahead and give a second. That was a lot of effort to make sure everything, like it's so hard to have it like there. It's easier to kind of flop around. So I was here, I pushed them just straight, and then I'm gonna go and take the opposite, and then the one I'm pushing on is actually the moving one first. So I'm gonna go up for 8, 7, home base, 6, and I'm making the intention to push into this, 5, push, 4, I'm scooping those lifting muscles, 3, just like when we slid our heel in, 2, and 1. And then I'm going to toe tap this one. I'm going to push into here. This has got a lot of action. Push, 2, which helps with the pelvis stability. 3, 4, spread your shoulders and relax your neck. 5, 6, reach active arms, 7, and then we're going to go into our leg circles. So I'm going to go down and around for 8, pushing heavy, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, breathe, use your reverse crunch muscles, 2, and 1. And then I'll reverse it the other way. I'm going to open and bring it around for 8, 7, 6, try not to rock like a boat, 5, try to stay like a statue, 4, push, 3, lots of moving parts here, 2, and 1. Now bring it back, squeeze your inner thighs, hands to the ground, open wide. You're going to twist towards the camera, do a big stretch, reach that back in, into the floor, reach, 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 and then squeeze your muscles, tuck it back in, and we're going to add a reverse crunch. And then again, I'm going to twist towards the camera, I'm going to exhale, I'm going to pull myself back home, and I'm going to do a reverse crunch. And again, inhale, exhale, 3, inhale, exhale. This is number 4, pull it back in, and scoop. Back to neutral, and this is number 5, 6, 7, one more, and 8. All right, so first switch should feel kind of nice. I'm going to twist open. I'm reaching this arm nice and wide. It actually feels like a big stretch there, which is nice. I'm going to pull it back in and come for 8, and I'll refine that. Open, 7, twist, 6, 5, 4, 3, good. Hopefully everything's in good working order. 2, and 1. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my legs into froggy. I'm going to open and close, open, and again, I'm trying to stay at that angle versus here for today. Unless you need to do that. 4, and your body will tell you. 3, 2, and then I'm going to press down to froggy like I would in reformer. I'm going to press and bring it back in. I'm going to press and bring it back in. Squeeze your butt. 3, your inner thighs will work, your core. 4, hip flexors probably a little bit. 5, 6, 7, and then I'll keep my legs straight. I'm going to scoop them up towards the ceiling, and now I'm going to reposition my hands, and I'm going to roll over. I'm going to press into this. This is a nice change of gravity. I'm going to point and flex, and then I'm going to lay down 1 vertebrae at a time, letting my body go with me. And then I'm going to inhale, I'm going to exhale, I'm going to scoop, roll, and I'm going to point and flex. It's great for us in the air, Melissa. And back down, and again, reach through your fingers, open your chest. You're going to point and flex, and then lengthen yourself back down. And again. Okay, so now we're going to add something a little different. We're going to take our feet, we're going to go about hip distance, shoulder distance, that was a lie, shoulder distance, and I'm going to roll down. And then what I'd like to do is curl up, complete the circle, and then re-go through. I'm going to point and flex. I'm going to go shoulder distance. I'm going to roll down with control, pressing the shoulders wide. I'm going to curl up and close. And bring it back in. We got 2 more. Flex and point. Stretch and open, hollow out your belly, and then reach through your hands. Roll with control. Curl yourself up, close, and then bring it back 1 more time. Point and flex. Make sure you're stretching. Open. Hold your belly button in to protect your spine. Press, 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 press. And curl yourself up. Good job. Okay. Yay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and rock and roll myself up. Just sitting. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn over. I'm having fun with you guys. Like, I know how strong you are. So, like, sometimes I'm a little self-conscious because I've never want to hurt anybody. But I also, like, you built this trust with me, and, like, I built a trust with you that I know I can give you stuff, and I know that you'll do what you need to do to not get hurt. Or you'll break me and say, hey, I don't like that. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of glute fusion with our arm work, okay? But I am going to use a timer today. We did counts yesterday, and I liked it, but it seems a little superficial. Like, it's so short that it doesn't get time to go all the way deep, okay? This is just a tool. 1 second. I have so much space in this area. I should not run into this. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go onto all 4s. I want my hands to be apart. I'm going to tap the ground, and I'm going to lift up and tap. I'm going to lift up. Good. Now remember which leg you're working with. Good. Up. Okay, I'm going to hold it up and I'm going to go higher, higher, higher. Good. Now to keep yourself balanced, it would actually serve you to take this hand out to the side because then you couldn't shift your weight over here. Maybe even fingertips, like I'm doing this on the other side. And that'll help you kind of stay out of that twisting thing. Not required, but it's something helpful since you guys aren't rookies. Good. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the legs straight. I'm going to reach through the toes. I'm going to set it down and I'm lifting. Now I'm lifting from that same shortening from here, not from like my hamstring. Okay? Maybe sometimes it helps to maybe flex your foot. Maybe that helps. But play with it and see if you feel one better than the other. And then we're going to go into circles, big circles. And I want you to see, like, if you could beat your personal average. I know that's not really measurable, but just like, that's where magic happens, is playing with that. and then I'll reverse, and then we'll have a 30-second break, and then we'll go into some arm stuff, and then we'll switch. Reach and create space. It is worth it. So think about what leg. It's my right leg. If it's your right leg, just remember that for later when we switch. All right, take a breather, and then we're gonna go into some arm work before we switch to the other side. So playing with different series is... Okay, so I'll start telling you what I wanted to do. We still have 15 seconds. Just hear me out first. I can do this for my knees or my feet. I'm gonna go ahead and lower myself to the ground, and then I'm gonna arch my back, and then I'm gonna push myself up, lower to the ground. This is your first 30 seconds, okay? So let's give that a ride. Up. Pull your shoulders back, stretch. So one's like a push-up plank. One is a stretch. Okay, the next thing I want you to do, you can do it from your elbows, is I want you to hold a plank. I think you guys can do it from your feet. You are so welcome to do it from your knees though. But what I'm really thinking about, if I were at home with you, I would make sure that your hand is under, or not your hand, but like this is nice and in, and it's not shifting, because that changes the structure for your shoulders. Now the next thing I want you to do is push your heels down to the ground, and we're gonna push our butt back. And what I want you to do in this position is I want you to pedal like both, or one at a time, whatever feels best. Pull your abs in tight, broaden your shoulders. Like there's a all the way, but I want your shoulders to be spread. Belly button in. And then the next thing you're gonna do is you can turn your fingers in. It's a little safer with your elbows wide, or you can do dolphin, which is good for your triceps, where you bring your elbows to the floor and then you push back up. Trying to make sure that your arms have some, all sorts of shirt malfunctions here. Okay. Again, elbows wide. It's a little easier, okay? So if that feels better, let's stretch your calves. And then the last thing I want you to do is come back into a plank and touch one knee down, push through the heel, touch the other knee down, push through the heel. Down, push. You can also do this reversing like that, okay? I want you to feel empowered by this, challenged by it, and have a space. Pretend like you're pulling the floor apart too. That'll give you some more stability. And rest. Okay, before we switch to the other glute side, take your hands behind your back, stretch your chest open, pull your hands back, good. So, it's gonna be the same thing, okay? For arms, same thing for glutes. We're gonna go through arms again, which is good. Different paces. You guys have done the push-up drill like a bajillion times, and I love it. It always works. But I just want to keep my brain stimulated, keep doing new things. I think you guys probably would like that too. Okay, so I'm gonna bring myself back to my elbows, and I'm gonna take the opposite leg, and I'm gonna lift. Now, I'm trying not to shift. If you see both bums, I wanna try and keep it level. That's also what I like for you guys too. You know what, and I'll start, I don't really need it for this one, but I'll go ahead and start with my cupcake hand out here so I don't shift my weight too much over onto the side. And then I'm gonna hold it up, and I'm gonna reach higher, higher, good. I've got this scooped in from all that work we already did, so it's kind of like it knows how to do its job. It's not figurative, it's literal. Beautiful. And now we go to that long position. You can point or flex, play with where you can get from the glute the best. But again, I don't want to see you twisting. I want to see you nice and square with the ground. And I'm really lengthening this oblique out so that it doesn't shorten over to here. That's a weird compensation that I do sometimes. And I'm sure if I do it, I'm not the only one. And next with circles. Bigger, good, big ones. Play with your range of motion. Edge on the edge of uncomfortable, but not painful. Like that feels new. That feels different, kind of weird. And then go ahead and reverse. And make sure you're not bending from your knee. Yeah. You're creating that space in your skeletal system. And we get a 30-second breather to get off of your shoulders for a second. Ugh. So just, I'll tell you as you go. It's not too bad. But that's why I wanted to do the push-up, and then that a little bit like less, like there's a push-up in there, but it's not so heavy. So that's why I like adding that back bend. Then we'll do our plank, and then we'll do our stretching calves, hold, then our push-ups, and then our knee taps. All right, I'm gonna try and go for my feet for this one. So I'm gonna lower myself to the ground, and then I'm gonna stretch up, and then back down. So this is a little more challenging for my feet, but I like it. I think I'm ready for it. And mostly you'll just get tired and fail, which is good, versus hurting yourself. All right, now it's time for a plank. I'm pretending like I'm pulling like the floor apart, and that helps my delts. You know, like when we did the circle, that helps settle into there. And also fits under your chest, not under your neck. That's crazy. We have about 8 more seconds. I believe in you. Tuck your pelvis, pull your belly button in. Cool. All right, now let's push our butts back. And then you can stretch out your calves. Put the focus down there. Holding your belly button in. Letting your shoulders slide down your back so they're not all the way in your ears. Good. Lengthening out your lats. Very nice. Now next thing are going to be V push-ups. So again, fingers can go in, which is a little easier than dolphin or dolphin. Elbows come down and push. Don't give yourself a nose job, please. And then the last thing, our knee taps. I'm going to adjust my shirt. There we go. Stand in my plank. And I'm going to tap one knee, push through the heel, tap, push, push. Good. Pull the floor apart. And remember, you can do the reverse of these, where you just do one knee at a time, like this. Good. All right, now if you would, take your knees apart, and then let's get off of our wrists for a second. Reach, reach. Do a big stretch. And then I'm even tucking my pelvis under a little bit. Good. Create a shell so all this opens. All right, so let's go to our elbows now. Let's do a little like, so actually some of you guys have circles, but the circles are honestly just like like a cane for this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my arm here, and then I'm gonna bring my legs out to the side, and I wanna pull my elbow down towards my body to help lift this. So like if I press the circle down, it like lifts me, same concept, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and press and lift, and then lengthen. I'm gonna lift, and then relax. And I'll go 4. So this job, the stability is everything. 3, 2. I'm gonna bring my knees back a little bit, 1, and then I'm gonna keep this locked and loaded and not let it press away, but pulling my elbow down. And I'm gonna press my knees down to lift my hips up for 8, and back down. 7, good. 6, pulling the muscles up and in. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'm going to hold it up. I'm going to take my hand behind my ear. I'm going to lift my hips as I twist. Pull your elbow to your waist and then lengthen back tall. I'm going to twist and lengthen back tall. Good. 3, and up. 4, up. 5, and 6, 7, and 8. Now set yourself down nice and gently with care. I'm gonna now take this arm, I'm gonna slide it out, and then I'm gonna bring it in front of my body, and I'm gonna go ahead and do the top part. I'm gonna push off my elbows, still lifting up, and back down. Switching obliques here, 2. So when you're holding or lifting, it's like stability, but this is shortening, so it's strength. Yeah, cool, right? 4, 3. There's still a little bit of stabilizing happening under here. 2, and 1. Now I'm gonna keep my knees bent. This is something new, and I'm gonna go ahead and lift both up. I give this as an option sometimes, but I never really do it with you. 2. So that's what it feels like. Still works the core. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the last thing I'll do is straight legs, but if you want to keep doing bent legs, do bent legs. 8, don't mind me. 7, too much power. 6, that's what I'm gonna tell myself. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open chest. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I think it'll take us about to the end. So I'll swim this around. I want to make sure that my mind and my body are doing what I want it to do without just hoping it does it. So I'm going to go ahead and stack it. I'm going to let myself sag, and then I'm going to pull my elbow down. And there's definite gliding of the shoulder. Good. 3, 4, and even this hip lengthens. 5, 6, 7, and then I'll lock it into place, and then I'm going to lift from my knees. I'm going to lift for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I'll stay up. I'm going to bring my hand behind my ear. I'm going to lift my hips as I twist for 8. Pull your elbow towards your waist. 7, 6, 5, up. Hips stay high. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then I'll lower myself. I'll slide the arm out. And then I'm going to start by just my upper half. I'm going to press and lift for 8, 7. Try to keep your knees still stacked. 6, so they have a purpose. 5, how are we doing? 4, oh, we're great. 3, 2, and then we'll do double knees. 1, 2, 3, go as high as you can. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then straight leg if you please. 8, a little more balance on the side. 7, squeeze your heels together. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, And so we're just gonna do a little stretch real quick. I'm gonna start sitting upright, bring myself out wide with all this space here, and then I'm gonna move my pelvis like we did at the beginning. Move how it affects my spine, how it plays into my hamstrings. Now our legs are straight, so get a little more hamstring play. Good. Now to ease into it, I'm gonna do one side at a time. So I'm gonna bend one leg, and I'm gonna go towards this one, so I don't even have to worry about fighting this. So I'm gonna bring my nose towards my kneecap. Sorry, I know I can't quite see, but I know you guys know how to do this. And then while I'm in this position, I'm gonna point and flex this foot over here. It's got some movement. And then I will bring my elbow to the floor or my shoulder to my knee, and I'm gonna reach up and over so I get more of a stretch through here. And I'm really reaching, and then I'm gonna turn my torso towards the ground, and I'm gonna rotate back up and open. I'm gonna rotate my torso toward the ground, and then back up. Close, and up. 2 more. And the last one. And then I'll bring myself up into sitting. Good. I'll do the same thing on the other side. So first thing I did is I lean forward. Again, I'll do a little point and flex action. Feeling able to pull, it does feel nice. And then I'll bring my elbow to the floor or my shoulder down to my knee, and I'll reach up and over. Good. And then I'll add a rotation and back up. And rotate and up. I'll do 2 more. Good. Now I'll bring myself upright. I'm gonna bring both legs out, and then I can go, hopefully I can go forward a little bit more. Feels better. Using my hands in whatever capacity, like I actually can kind of feel a stretch the other day. Normally I can go further. But just honoring it and not everything, I don't ever want to be ashamed of where I am. I just want to say, oh, here I am. Because once you're ashamed, then you start feeling bad, and that doesn't make you any better. Shame is so wasted. I did it for so long. So silly. All right, and then I'll bring my heels together. I'm going to sit up tall, pulling into this so that I can kind of bow forward. So when I'm in this position, it can really gun into this area. When I'm here, it kind of disperses all through. So being really purposeful. And it's almost like I'm shooting my chin out this way. And then allow yourself to bend forward. And see, my back stays more parallel than as if I were to just bring my chin down to my feet. It stays more parallel as I go forward. Awesome. And then we're going to go into, I'm going to cross my ankles and go on to all fours. I'm going to go ahead and round my back and then stretch my belly. And then I would not pull your shoulders up. That'll take away that belly stretch. Pull them down your back and then switch, pushing away and then rolling. Sometimes they stay directly through and Pilates just does. I'm going to roll though. I like to roll back and forth. That's how I find my stretch. Good. Which leads me next into, I'm going to go ahead and bring one leg forward. And my shin is going to be, my foot's kind of forward, which is crazy, but that way when I lean forward, it's stacked upright. Please never do this. That makes me so sad on your joints. Not even so much your like bones, but like your ligaments. Good. And I'm really thinking, I'm going to squeeze my bottom back here so I can push this open a little bit and hold it for just a second more. And then I'm going to go ahead and press back so that my femur is upright, and then I can kind of lean forward like this. And then a little pointing and toe action. I'm kind of rolling over the ball of my heel to create space. And then while I'm here, I'm going to fold this leg over and slide into pigeon. So I can go forward first. That actually feels kind of nice today. Usually I don't feel anything. I must have been working out with you guys lately. And then bring yourself upright. And use your hands as much as you can. We've been learning a little bit of back extension does help the hip flexor. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. And we are going to stretch your arms and be done after that. Foot goes forward. Go into your lunge. Try to keep your hips squared. Don't let them twist open. So bad at that. I was so bad at that. I'm working really hard on that. Good. And then I'll go ahead and shift my way back, femur straight, and then I'm bowing forward versus going back. That's different. We do that, just not today. And then I'm going to point my toe and roll over my heel to create a little space. Good. And then I'll fold the leg over and ease into it. So I can go on top of the leg, stretching it out. And then also our finale is coming upright. Good. And then as far as arms go, however you want to sit, cozy. If you want to cross them over, yes, yes. You would think I'd have a better sense of time when we were together all the time, but now that like time feels weirdly odd, I can like keep better track of it. It doesn't make sense. All right, and then the last thing is I'll touch and I'll pull my elbow back. I like to put my head in front and use my head a little bit. Not like to strain my neck, but enough. And then I'll switch to the other side. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me today. I made sure that I was a good girl. I went to bed at a good hour, so I was ready.